This is Noelle Randall, real estate entrepreneur, mentor, and mom of 5. And I am so excited to introduce you to one of my former students, now a master coach and a very, very successful real estate entrepreneur herself. 𝗡𝗢𝗘𝗟𝗏𝗧 of 𝗡𝗢𝗘 Properties is the absolute epitome of a successful entrepreneur. She has transitioned from working full-time on a cruise ship to now owning real estate, having her Airbnb properties, and also teaching what she knows to other students. A true success. I cannot wait to introduce you to her, show you her story, and show you all her properties. Let's go.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, all you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
Welcome, welcome. I want to introduce you all to a very phenomenal woman. This woman actually was a student in one of my programs and is now a very successful entrepreneur. Her story is wonderful, and I'm so happy to share it all with you guys. I want to welcome today 𝗡𝗢𝗘𝗟𝗏𝗧 of 𝗡𝗢𝗘 Properties.
Hi, Noelle. Thank you so much. And hi, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. Such an honor to be sitting here and having this conversation with you. It's been a great year, and I'm happy to be sitting here right now.
Awesome, awesome. I am so excited. Absolutely. This has been a phenomenal year for you. You know, you are definitely one of the most successful people that I've come across in the past few years. And I am excited to share your story with the world, but in true Noelle style. I want this to be the truth. You know, I want you to share all of your experiences, your ups and downs, and give everyone what the real true story is to transition from a working professional to a full-time entrepreneur and how you became so successful, because I just feel like you worked really hard, and I know that I can see that you've been through so much just from the fruits of your labor. I can see all that you've accomplished, and I would love to give people the behind-the-scenes true story.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, it's been a wonderful year. My whole life, you know, I've been working in corporate America, and I got to that point where I was doing 12 to 14 hours on a cruise line, and it was a wonderful experience. I got to see the world for 5 years, but then I was like, why am I not doing 12 to 14 hours for myself, for my own business? And I, you know, as everybody does, I looked around for what I could do. I've always been interested in real estate investment, you know, buying property, having passive income, having a steady income so I can just travel the world on my own dime. And so I found your program, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Okay, so let's go back, because I feel like this is truly what people need to know. So give us a little bit of detail. You know, tell us and tell everyone how it is that you found me. Kind of talk through your journey. You know, what happened? How did this come to be?
My mom passed away a couple of years ago, and she was always, you know, a big hustler in a good way. She did many things, and she taught me many things, and yet I wasn't using those skills. And I decided, all right, I'm just going to do it. I moved back to the U.S. last year, June 2019. It was 2 months off.
From where?
I was on a cruise ship. I was working on a cruise line.
So you're working on a cruise line.
Yes,
it's 2019.
Yeah.
You've done that for 5 years.
Yes.
Okay.
And
now
I decided
what?
I bought a property in Orlando, a condo that I was going to rent out, and came here, realized that it's a minute drive from Universal Studios. And I was like, oh my God, I love Universal Studios. I'm going to stay. So I decided to just move here. And to get to know the area, I started doing Uber and Lyft, and I worked for IKEA. And I was like, well, this can't sustain. So I really need to. And then I had it in the back of my mind, I have this cruise ship thing going on that I can always go back to. So really, I was just hanging out for the 3 months. So I was looking online, and I found your event and decided I'm just gonna try this out. And I went, and you know, it's funny because you tell me later that I didn't even seem like the kind of person who should really be there, because I was in the background just hanging out and not really talking to people, which is kind of me
it's
too.
Funny.
At
I
the
remember
time.
you. I do.
Yeah, it was just kind of me
You're
at
very
the time,
shy.
like
Yes.
very
Or
shy.
you seem very shy.
Yeah, not very shy, but just in the back. I'm like a hangout in the back girl. My friend will tell you that. That I just hang out. So yeah, started the program 1 year ago today. I actually signed to join the program, and it's been a great experience. You know, I have the struggles. You know, people tell you, oh, what are you doing? You're spending money on this and blah blah blah. But you know, getting rid of the uncertainty and the naysayers, that's like the first step.
That is definitely. So let's talk about that, because I feel like that is one of the things that people will relate to you so much. Like you said, you can never judge a book by its cover. I remember you in the back of the room. I'm having this event and you're hanging out in the back of the room. You're not necessarily seeming like this extroverted person that will go out and make calls or buy properties. However, you were engaged. I will say that, and obviously you showed up, and we know that showing up is definitely 80% of success. So my real question is, and what people would love to know is, how did you come to the decision that you were going to invest in yourself? Talk me through that journey, because I too have been coached, I too have invested in mentorship, and it is not necessarily the easiest thing to do because most people don't do it. So talk about that a little bit. Just tell it to us straight. Give us your true, honest feeling and kind of what that was like, making that decision and stepping out to do that.
Yeah. You know what? Since I was 20, I've been starting businesses. With this person, starting this business here, it crashes, starting it there. And what I came to realize is that they don't really teach you what you really, really need in college. I got the master's, I learned a lot, and it really, developed me as a person. But the really grit of it, you learn from somebody else who's done it and do it well. So it was like a no-brainer to me that you may as well just, pay for it, because you're trying to get to six-figure salary, you want $100,000 or more, and that's like about $8,000 a month. What's the point? What's the difference? Pay the money to get the mentor, because you're gonna make it back in the year, the right mentor too. So that's what drew me here, is that I've done it so many times, and it always just ends up back at point zero, and I'm back in a corporate America, or I'm back on a ship, and I'm not really getting anywhere. So at the time when, like I said, when my mom passed away, she was working when she wanted to work. She was saying, maybe I work 2 days this week, because she always had something giving her residual income or revenue stream she was working on. Yeah. So something was always bringing her money. So she decided when she wanted to, and I said, well, that's I want to be her, and in my journey to become her, in the 3 to 6 months after, I literally became her. And my aunt, I have a great aunt in Jamaica. She always tells me, you're just like your mom. You're on the street every day. You can't stay home. Well, yeah, that's, but let me be on the street now doing something that's going to line my pockets rather than just being on the street.
True. Very true story. True story.
So that's what drew me to it. I said, you know what, just pay for the mentorship. Nothing in life, the best things in life is not free. And this has been the best thing in my life. This has been the greatest year of my life. Oh. Literally.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm not going to cry. I'm not. I promised I would not, because it's funny. I was looking back as we were thinking about doing this interview, and I looked back at the photo of when you joined. And I recall that, like you said, you mentioned in a story earlier, and I want you to expound on it just a little bit, that you were with another person. Because I too have started other businesses with business partners, and they fickled out, and so did the business. So talk about, some of your friends and people that you might have been working with, and what your thoughts were at the beginning and where you are now with that.
The people I've worked with are my best friends, but we just never had any direction. We didn't know the secrets. There are secrets to this thing. We never know the secrets. And now, the secrets that you've given us, we're there. The people who have used it, how many? 14 people were in my class. How many of us, came out with something that we can be proud of? Because you just have to focus on it. I had the steps. You gave me the steps. And what I did was I locked onto it, and I just did it every day. I got up early, I wrote in my journal, I started on a module, put it into play, and here I am today. That's basically, I have my Adasa properties, I have my Adasa homes that does Airbnbs, and it's been a really great year. It's just commitment. Commitment is what gets you anything, Get up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to be 100% committed today. Turn off everything else that's going on and just focus.
That was one of the things that struck me about you very early on. Obviously, I've mentored for many years, and after a while, I will say I can start to pick the horses that will win. And I try to pick the horses that I think will win, because I have to invest, obviously, a lot of time. And I want to speak with people that I really feel like are going to do it. And I saw very early on your commitment and your dedication. And yes, you have your properties now. And that is one of the things I am most proud about you, is that your properties, I've seen them. They're absolutely beautiful. You immediately just jumped on it. So I would love to show everyone your properties. Let's go.
everyone, welcome to my Airbnb property. This is the third property in this building. This one I got about maybe 2 months ago, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been doing so fantastic. As you can see, I decorated everything with the essentials that you need in your corporate rental. I was lucky enough to acquire some of this furniture here because I was passing by and the guy had a poster on the door, furniture for sale. So literally I knocked on his door and I said, hey, what's up with this furniture? And he said, yeah, we're selling the furniture and we're moving out. And so I got the furniture at a really cheap rate. Everything in here, I think the overall, it cost me about $3,500 to furnish this property. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. You know, we like walk-in bathroom. We like big bathrooms because, you know, we're trying to attract a certain guest. We want big, giant bathrooms. And we like to keep everything white and clean and pretty. You know, these are really basic things we get at like a Ross. They're really, really affordable when you buy them at these discount places. So remember I told you I got all this furniture from the previous owner who was here, renter who was here, you know, these entire sets and the chest of drawers and also the dining room set. The whole set was $800, including the lamps as well. And this is like the biggest deal, the best deal I could ever have. And the only reason why I found it was because I came up here to complain about my guest upstairs who was making too much noise. So, you know, we worked out a deal with the condo, and they allowed me to keep the furniture here in the transfer of the property. So I didn't even have to pay moving fees or anything like that. So, you know, my guests, they make these really great comments about, you know, our properties. We try to keep them really nice, and I have great cleaners. So a piece like this you can find on any of those secondhand websites. This is one of them that I got for like $20. And I think most of the units that I have, most of the paintings I have in all my units are about the same price. You know, we go to the Goodwill. I got this piece here at the Goodwill. Yeah, and it matches, look how great it matches the decor and everything else. So, you know, it takes a few weeks to put the property together, but because I'm gonna expand as I go along in the year and add 3 more properties, as I'm going around in the city, I'm just gonna start accumulating cheap items that I know fit together perfectly. And then when my unit is ready, I'll just be able to furnish it quickly. I'm so happy I met Noelle. You know, I'm so happy I went to that first meetup group meeting. And, you know, there was no reluctance on my part just to get started. You know, I knew I needed a mentor, and I checked out her YouTube channel, and I Googled her like we do about everybody. And I have to say that it was probably one of the best decisions I made, you know, in my entire life. So it's been a great experience working with her. You know, she's very motivating. She's a perfect example for me as a Black woman and trying to make it here. It's been quite an experience just learning from her. She has so much knowledge to share, and she's willing to tell you. She's willing to work with you. A lot of people have the knowledge and it's just all for themselves. There's no help coming from them. Having a role model that you can be an example for you to follow, who's successful and can really teach you and cares about your success and cares about you becoming somebody like her, you know, it's very valuable. It's a very valuable thing to have. So it's been quite an experience. I've learned a lot. As I said, today is exactly 1 year from the day I signed into her program, which is quite kismet, I have to say, to be here today to say that, because, you know, and I just realized that yesterday when I looked at the date, because around here we don't even know what date it is or day of the week. So seeing that, you know, I felt really, really, I teared up this morning seeing and realizing it, because I really didn't realize it until later. So yes, it's been 1 year. I have 3 Airbnbs. I am a real estate agent. I also do wholesaling. I operate Adasa Homes, adasahomes.com. You can book this unit in Florida. And I also have adasaproperties.com. We buy houses and we help people solve their housing problems. So, you know, check us out anytime you want, and check out Noelle Rando, because you won't be sorry. You know, all you need is your commitment. That's all you need.
I absolutely love what you have done with your properties, and I'm so happy that we were able to show the world. Now let's talk about some of the challenges that you have faced over the past year.
Okay, yeah, because there's always challenges, right? So I was at the point where I knew that, you know, I needed to get stuff done. So there is no doubt, you know, that you're going to have to be successful now because you want to go do what you want to do.
Yeah, you bet on yourself.
Exactly.
That's what I always felt like mentorship was, like you bet on you.
Exactly. So, but there are those moments when you go backwards. It's the backward challenges. So, after I started my business and I'm going through the program, and then they call you and like, hey, come do 2 weeks for us on the ship. And you're like, all right.
Tempting.
Yeah, and I go. And yes, yeah, it was okay because, you had that time to still be working on your business, but not as much as you would have had you just stayed home and just focused, yeah? And part of it is thinking that I don't deserve this. I'm gonna run away for 2 weeks and come back. That was a challenge, was to like break that break that cord from full time. I was working also doing building IKEA stuff just to sustain me for the month and pay my bills, which was actually worth it while I worked on my business. So that would be 3 days a week. But it got to the point after I got my Airbnbs that, hey, now you're going to clean them yourself for a few months. And so it just was back to back. Now, my second challenge was I actually signed for my Airbnbs 2 days before COVID shut down the world.
Ooh, let's talk about COVID challenges.
That was awesome. I was so excited. I was, and at that time back in early March, nobody was really thinking this was, nobody was really believing in this thing. So, it was about March 13, I think. And then March 16, they shut down everything. And here I am with 2 properties to furnish. Everything slowed down. Shipping was late. Shipping took a while. But I got up every morning and I thought, I'm going to work on my property today. Yeah. And that was it. It wasn't, hey, the news telling me this and this telling me that. No.
So how did you overcome that? Because I think COVID taught entrepreneurs how strong they were. So as a real estate entrepreneur, obviously I'm not just a mentor. I too have properties. And I had a lot of bookings in March. March is a very big week, if you guys don't know. Spring break in Florida is one of the most profitable weeks for our Airbnb properties. And so that went away. And what was your mindset when that happened?
Oh, goodness. I panicked a little because you got to panic. And I think I even called called Shayna or somebody. Yes, I panicked. I'm like, what am I going to do? I have 2 properties and nothing's coming. And you know what? You calm down, you come back down to earth, and you don't do what everybody else is doing. You stop jumping on the wagon, yeah? Don't jump on the bandwagon and listen to all the craziness. I was one of those people who were probably supposed to be locked down, but I was out every day, I had my mask on. My stuff was coming by Amazon, so all I had to do was travel from my house to my property, collect the items, work inside, but it didn't slow me down. And then it took me about 2 or 3 weeks to furnish the property. And I lost after they were ready, got pictures taken. I set up all my avenues, all my booking services, set everything up, and just waited.
Just waited.
I was out setting up my properties in the same way, and then I had 2 weeks to wait, and all of a sudden May happened, and everywhere opened up, and immediately, because all these people who were locked up in their house needed to get away.
Yes.
So
yes, very true. There are definitely always opportunities in obstacles. I will say the entrepreneurs that stand firm and keep going, we usually rise to the top. And I could see that that's what you did.
Find a way.
Yeah.
Find a way.
Or make a way.
There's a will, there is a way, or make a way. Exactly.
Yeah, find a way or make a way.
Don't just fall into the trap of, I got to close my doors, and find a way. People, other places, they do delivery, food delivery and things like that to make a difference. That's the entrepreneurs who make it.
So I think the important lesson that we can garner from 𝗀𝗃 and her story is that a strong entrepreneur can turn obstacles into opportunities. You will notice from 𝗀𝗃's story that she took the obstacle of COVID and turned it into business funding and her real estate license. She literally took that time that she was trapped in the house when other people were shutting down their businesses, and she turned that into money and a new license that actually makes her money now. She actually got 2 very successful outcomes from being trapped inside of the house when everyone else was watching the news and being negative. And this is what a strong entrepreneur will do. And this is how you become successful. Focusing on your goals, staying positive, and doing things that other people won't do in the time of distress. This is how you help people and become successful. 𝗀𝗃 is a true success story in this right, and others should follow her path. So let's get back to 𝗀𝗃 and her story.
So you were locked down in quarantine, and you come out of quarantine with properties and a real estate license.
Yeah, successful properties. So properties that are making money, because I broke even in May and then profits started after that. Rates started going back up and that started to happen. And then during COVID, I got my real estate license and I joined an agency, right? In the middle of June, July, I joined an actual real estate agency and it's just been upwards since there. And this is a lesson that I tell to the students that I now coach. You know, don't get up in the morning and let the world bring you down. Actually get up and say, this is the world I want to create for myself today. And you'll create it. It's as simple as that. And people don't believe it. You know, throughout the year, my other challenge was the suspension of disbelief. Like, stop disbelieving that this is everything you're supposed to have. So, you know, when I started, I had like a board of all my revenue streams and they were all tasks to get done. And then when the tasks were done, it got changed to revenue. Right. And then you see the 4 digits there and the 4 digits over here and you look at it and you're like, that's like upwards of 5 digits a month. Are you really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes,
you're going to do that? Really? So it's kind of like, I went through that phase of, oh, girl, please. What are you thinking?
Right.
That's not going to happen. Come on. And
so talk about some of the things you did to work on your mindset, because I think so many people fail to realize how important it is not just to do the tasks in your business and setting up your properties and getting real estate licenses and the tangible things that we do, but the intangible mindset things, the things that you did to work on your mind. Don't skip over that. Talk about your vision board and your board that you have. Share with the world how you transformed yourself.
Well, the first part of it was just listening to you, Noelle, because you always say, you deserve this, and I get up every day and I say, you deserve this. And I journaled. I had one of those things where one of those journals that you put your top 3 things you're going to do today.
Your freedom journal.
Yes. And then in the night you do a summary of, okay, what did you get done? Actually, I even took it on the ship with me and did the task at the same time. And I had my vision board that I worked on. I have it up right now over my desk. Has a pair of red bottoms on it, in addition to everything else. And, getting up every morning and just not turn the TV on immediately, thinking positive things. I have to admit, I did have to watch the news during COVID because of all the money they were giving away.
True story.
Not to hear how many COVID numbers were this week or today, but to hear, keep your ears to the ground with the news stations to hear when they were giving away money and which grant was available for businesses, and I took advantage of every single one. So this is why it was the most successful months for me. So I did that, and you work out, you eat properly, you try to get your mind and body aligned, just to get through the days, because you have so much to do. And one of the greatest things that I realized was the first day I worked 14 hours straight. And I realized that I used to work 14 hours on the ships. And now when I did it, it went by with a breeze and it was for me.
Yes.
And that was what's most important. That was for me.
Isn't it life-changing to wake up in the morning and give your business your time, your energy, and your effort and see the fruits of what that creates? Okay, so this is Noelle's Millionaire Minute. You need to set a date if you are talking about quitting your job. When it comes to quitting your job and transitioning from worker to full-time entrepreneur, it's really important to be clear as to when you are going to be quitting the job, because we get so wrapped up in I want to do this in one day or someday. But if you're really gonna quit your job and really start making the transition from working for someone else to working for yourself, you gotta set a date. You take a date, even if it's 3 months, 6 months, even if it's a year from now, but set a date and then reverse engineer into that date so that you know when you're gonna quit and how you're gonna do it. And by setting a date, this is how you will be successful in really quitting that job and becoming the entrepreneur that you dream to be. So one of the things that I always saw in you that I was always most excited about to share with the world is your just tenacity and how you've transformed. You were very introverted in back of the room, and now you're in the forefront. Talk to us about what the future holds for 𝗀𝗻𝗄 now.
One of the things that irks me before was talking to people, even especially during COVID, where they didn't they didn't get the things I got. Like I said, did you see this application for this? Did you? Oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I realized that a lot of people need help with information. Like if during that time I thought everybody else was getting what I was getting because one, you said it to go get it, you know, and then later I'm like, other students in my class, I'm like, did you go get that? Because I got it. And they didn't, because they didn't just listen and they didn't believe they could get it as well. And one of the things I learned as well was you got to try again, you know. Everything I got, I probably had to try 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Because I didn't want to give up, because I felt like I deserved it.
Because you deserved it.
I deserved it, so I wanted to get it. So I learned it, I did it, and now I want to be able to share it and teach somebody else how to do it, you know, because it's no fun going on vacation by yourself.
Very true. It's no fun being rich alone.
Exactly. It's so funny.
Or you have the money to go and they don't have the money to go.
Yeah, and they feel bad because you want to pay for them.
Right, and it doesn't make it fun either, paying for others, but making them or helping them with their success.
Right.
Yeah,
I want you to step up too. I want you to step up because anybody can do this.
Yeah.
You know, one of my students is a 17-year-old girl right now. You know, I had my first training with her yesterday. Her dad assists her, and she's about to buy her first property right now at 17. I'm like, if somebody had told me this when I was 18, I would be you or more.
She's gonna be a billionaire.
So exactly, by the time she's our age, she's a billionaire.
She'll be a billionaire.
You know, and she's active. She's working it really hard, so much more than anybody else in our class. So it's really fulfilling to be able to teach other people how to do this. Nobody teaches us how to do these things, you know, especially us. Nobody really teaches you, and we don't believe in mentor or other teachers other than the colleges and the high schools and what they tell you to go do. So I mean, if I'm paying how much, I think I have like 3 more months of my student loans, 20 years now that I got to pay for. So true. And look how quickly I was able to pay for our program.
Right.
So it's like, come on, you know, you're paying for that. You may as well pay for this. And we are here to guide. I'm here to guide you, and it's really fulfilling to be able to share it with other people.
Absolutely. Again, another thing that I'm just absolutely proud about is that you're able to now model and share your success, your true story, and I think that is the best teacher that anyone can get.
So I think the big lesson here and what we can garner from 𝗂𝐴𝐿 Campbell's story is the power of working for yourself and how fulfilling it can be to own your own time. I know when I transitioned from working for someone else into working for myself, similar to 𝗂𝐴𝐿, I was able to work hour after hour for myself and be so much more fulfilled than those grueling hours for working for a company or for someone else's business. Not saying that jobs are bad or getting a salary is negative, but working for yourself can be so fulfilling. And owning your time and being able to be on the beach and do what you want to do with your time and create your own schedule is the most fulfilling thing in life, in my opinion. So when it comes to 𝗂𝐴𝐿 and my story, I hope you can get that working for yourself can be really life-changing. It can allow you time freedom, money freedom, and you can even write your own check and make way more money than you ever did working for someone else. As I said, I love working for myself. Becoming an entrepreneur was one of my best decisions. As a mom of 5, I love being able to spend time with my kids, being able to spend time doing what I want to do, and reaping all of the rewards of my hard work. This is Noelle Randall. You can find me and more information on real estate investing at my website, noellerandall.com. You can find me on my podcast, on your favorite streaming platform, and I have a free course available just for you at noellsfreetraining.com. This is Noelle. To your success.
Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, all you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.